We'll now chant Gita Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Graditam Puranam Nina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadasha Dhyayinim Ambatvamanusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim Namostute Vyasavishala Buddhe Fullarabindayatapatra येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः सर्वोपनिषदो गावः दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्ससुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनम् देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पल शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटम् नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितं लोके सज्जन षट्पतैरहरः विपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद्भारतपङ्कजं कलिमलप्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदै गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः. We are in chapter 6 of the Bhagavad Gita. It is called Atma Sanyama Yoga or Dhyana Yoga, whatever name. Om Shri Krishna Paramatmane Namaha. अथ आत्मसंयोगो नाम षष्ठोऽध्यायः. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. We want to chant from verse number 24. Sankalpa prabhavan kaman tyaktva sarvana sheshatah मनसैवेन्द्रियग्रामं विनियम्य समन्ततः शनैः शनैरुपरमेत् बुद्धया धृतिगृहीतया आत्मसंस्थं मनः कृत्वा न किञ्चित् अपि चिन्तयेत्. मनः कृत्वा न किञ्चित् अपि चिन्तयेत्. 26. यथो निश्चरति मनश्चञ्चलमस्थिरम् ततस्ततो नियम्येतत् आत्मन्येव वशं नयेत्. The teacher is stressing these sections about how to do samadhi rupa nididhyasanam. We have seen in our earlier verses that we have nididhyasanam, where we have what is called Brahma Abhyasa Rupa, and in which case we had the posture is not important, the thought process is important, where you recall the teaching that you had during Shravanam. Mananam gave you the intellectual conviction, and Nididhyasanam is the period where you reinforce the teaching. That was Brahma Abhyasa was highlighted. But the teacher wants to highlight here, right up to the end of a large section of this chapter, about Samadhi Rupa Abhyasa. Samadhi Rupa, the moment I say Samadhi Rupa Abhyasa, Ashtanga Yoga comes into play. So you must have Yamana, Niyama, Asanam, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dhyanam, Dharanam, Samadhi, all of them come into play. So it is very important to have an appropriate posture. Desha, Kala, place and time and posture. And how to do was highlighted. So he said in that verse number 24, he said, all the desires, okay, they are desire. When you talk about a desire, it's not a fancy. We have to understand this very clearly. Fancies don't bother you. Let's say you go into a mall and you see a Rolls Royce there. You look at the whole thing, nice. You may perhaps even take a test ride, or you may pose in front and get one picture shot and circulate it in the social media. That's only a fancy. It's not a binding desire. The binding desire, when he is talking about Sankalpa Prabhavan Kaman, what are the type of desires? You have to be very careful. Sankalpa Prabhava, that which is born out of a certain desire. The desire is, if I have this, I will be better off. Okay? Better off is okay. I have a roomier house, a bigger car. Okay, but this better off is feeling a certain sense of recognition by means of acquiring. I feel good because I have a swank automobile. I live in that upcountry marketplace where only some of the best live. Owning a house there itself is something. So a strong desire which will give you that if I have this, without this my life will be incomplete. Somehow I must have this. I must have this product. I must have this. I must have this. So these type of sankalpa prabhava, what has been born out of such sankalpa, tyaktva sarvan asheshataha, completely root out these desires. Okay, careful. Fancies are okay, desires are okay, but a desire, a compelling desire, which leads you to a certain obsession. If I don't have this, I will not be happier. I will not be happy. Zindagi mein ek baar I should have this. This is how I want. That pursuit of artha kama with the desire that yes, my lot will be better if I have this. Those kind of binding desires, tyaktva, give up. Give up. Understand it like these desires should not run your life. Yeah, I want to own an old Rolls Royce. That's fine. There's no problem at all. If I can afford it, I would love to own a Rolls Royce. I would like to live in this kind of a place. I would like to live this kind of a life with this kind of a partner. All that is fine. But if it is going to dictate your life, if it's going to control your life, what will happen? Mind will not go towards moksha. Mind will be stuck in samsara. What is samsara? Struggle to be better. A rat race. Even if you win the rat race, you will remain a rat. You won't become a cat. Struggling, running to remain at the same position, earning more and more just to service the loans that you borrow. Must struggle. And you say, time will come when I will relax. What will you relax? So, sarvan asheshataha manas indriya gramam. Okay. So here when you're talking about indriya gramam, Please understand Indriya Grama means the bunch of sense organs, eyes, ears. So to avoid these binding desires, these sense organs must also be regulated. The teacher talks about two very important, Shama and Dama. Okay. What does teacher say about Shama? Shama is internal. An internal resolution of potentially binding desires and negative emotions. I want this. If I don't achieve this, I am a failure. So, this is internal resolution. What is Dhamma? Dhamma is the external action to handle the same reinforcing. But if Shama is weak, if Shama is shallow, if Shama is not adequate enough, I reinforce by Dhamma. Like for instance, suppose sweet is harmful for me, I don't eat sweets. But I'm not able to resist, then my dining table should not have even the letter SWEET mentioned anywhere. Remove it from my sight. So Shama Dhamma is what is highlighted in these two verses, in this verse in particular. Okay, and samantataha, from all sides, the sense organs, the stimuli. I have to. It is. If Shama is not working, I have to do something about it. I'll tell myself, concentrate on this. Don't look here and there. Okay, so we go to the next one. And then how do you do it? Shanai uparamet. You do it slowly, abhyas. Like for instance, you have pleasures at the physical level. So check whether they are binding or non-binding. If they are binding, you have to you have to ensure that they don't control you. Okay. From there, physiological, emotional, intellectual, and sometimes deep down when you don't do anything, blissful ignorance, that kind of pleasure, stoned kind of pleasure. So withdraw step by step. Shanai Uparamet. And then when you are in the seat of on the seat of meditation, yatho nischarati, when the mind runs. What is the nature of the mind? Mana chanchalam astiram. It will be like that. It will not be steady. It will be like that. Agitated, my dear, and there, here and there. It's our experience. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Hey, this Shiva Kumar hasn't called me for the last so many days. Your mind will go. Om Namah Shivaya. That's what you have to do. Every day the mind runs to Shiva Kumar, bring it to Om Namah Shivaya. I'm not supposed to think of Shiva. I should Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shiva Kumar took that money and did not return. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Yatho nischarati manaha chanchalam astiram. Then you will come out of the judgmental thought. Not only Shiva Kumar, I lent to this fellow, that fellow. I don't know how much money I have lent by just trusting people. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Yato nischarati, manase, that mana nischarati, has to bring it back. Tato niyamya. On what? Etat atman eva vasham nayet. Bring it under your control. This is the work one has to do on the seat of meditation. Let's remember something. A lot of people say, I am doing morning meditation. So what do? You have a switch off, dim lights, or early morning, switch off all sounds. Okay, and easily. What's happening inside is important. The sitting is not important. What's happening inside is very important. And you ask him what? Nothing, sir. I'm total controlled. Yeah, then he must have been doing it for ages. Suppose a fellow comes and tells me, I try to do the mind runs, I have to bring it back. It runs, I have to bring it back. You are perfectly in sync what is stated here. Okay? Then he takes you a little further. Done consistently, what happens? Let us read verse number 27. Prashantamanasam hyenam Prashantamanasam hyenam Yoginam sukhamuttamam Yoginam sukhamuttamam Upaiti shantarajasam Upaiti shantarajasam Brahmabhutam akalmasham Brahmabhutam akalmasham. Whole verse. Prashantamanasam hyenam Yoginam sukhamuttamam Upaiti shantarajasam Brahmabhutam akalmasham. So he says, following the steps from 24, 25, 26, I do what is called get the mind shantam, make it quiet, quieten the mind. It's an effort done consistently for a long time. It is like going to the gym. You don't do for one day, you do it over a period of time with a certain goal. This is what I want. So, done consistently over a length of time, the mind which is under control. Akalmasham, without without being driven towards artha kama thoughts, towards pleasures, towards achievement orientation, towards recommendations and things like that. A mind which is steady there, which is in the job. There are some people who will do, when he'll be doing it, Japan. I've seen it happen in all real life. Somebody rings the bell. It happens. Then somebody has come. They've come from next door. They don't know you are doing meditation and things like that. Or they have something serious to convey. Then they have you heard this? They say, why can't you people talk quietly? You have to master all this. Okay, you have to. You have to stop even frowning. Let them talk. You have to only say, may I concentrate a little harder? May I concentrate a little harder? May those words not have an impact. Let me hear them, but let me not listen to them. So then, these kind of distractions, when you are able to weed out, akalmasham, okay, and then these distractions come from where? They start from rajoguna, an achievement orientation. I should prove a point. I do this, I do that, I do that. So that, that achievement orientation, activity orientation, thoughts that come out of that, okay, having a certain mastery over them, I do Brahma Bhuta, I do thinking, I do focused thinking on Brahma Vishaya. What are the Vishaya? So let's do a small demo. Your eyes are closed, you are comfortably seated, you run a thought process. So after it settles down, tell yourself there could be distractions, there could be thoughts which are distracting me. Let them be. I don't will or wish that they be there or not be there. So the thoughts don't control you. May I be able to recall the teaching. That is a sankalpa. What is the teaching? I am a conscious whole. I am an awareful whole being. My nature is absolute peace, absolute awareness, absolute ananda. I am aware of my body. I am aware of the various roles that I play. I am aware of, work on this stuff. that this role in particular is under pressure. This is the situation. See, the pressure is there, but you're objectifying the pressure. This role is sad because of certain developments. I acknowledge that there is sadness. The sadness is for the role. I, the role player, am free. See, this is how the thinking process goes on. Okay, and done in this, the mind takes to absorption a certain spontaneous absorption happens, and at that point there is a certain uttama sukha. Uttama sukha. See, there was a very leading businessman, very rich, billionaire. So he writes that when I started a factory, I felt very happy. When I could get employment to so many people, it was wonderful. Then, when by corporate consolidation, I could buy factories and works in London and other places, it was fine. So, in achievement, in all these things, I was really a very happy person. But then, at a point of time, it came to my life. A point of time came in my life when somebody said there is a, a children's home here where children who don't have parents live, and some of them are differently abled. Many of them are not able to walk. Many of them have injuries and illnesses that have affected the spine. So would you like to donate some wheelchairs? So he quickly checked, and each wheelchair costing about 45,000 rupees. He said, okay, here's my 100 wheelchairs for those people. 45,000, 100, the good amount. And they were all set and delivered. The organization which wanted the wheelchairs came to him and said, if you don't mind, will you come personally and donate the wheelchairs? Because money anybody can give. But we would like to personally come and donate. He said, okay, I'll come. So he went there and he writes that when the wheelchairs were given to the children, the children sat on the wheelchair. It was a wheelchair which had the 360 degrees, rotating capacity. And they could move one push and it could go a meter or so. He said, watching them delighted. He said, I never got a joy like this in any of my previous. That is, contributing gave him more joy than consuming and owning. This is sukham. That is not just owning, by saying that I really need all this gives you a certain sukha. And then he adds, saying that just before I left, there was a one child who came and held him by the hand and said, I want to look at your face. He said, why? He said, when I go to heaven, I want to remember your face when I see you there. Hey, look at that touching emotion. He said, my eyes went moist. And he got nothing except the joy of giving. The teacher says here, not only there is a uttama sukha in giving, there is an uttama sukha in giving up, growing over. Let's remember this. Not just in giving up. Have you lost a game with your grandchild? Play a game with your grandchild. The grandchild says, Tata, I won. How do you like it? He is so delighted in giving up. There is a lot of joy. So, when the Shanta Manas takes place, when the distractions go, there is a certain sukha. Okay, there is a certain sukha. And this is a uttama sukha, which the teacher wants to highlight. Let's read the next one also, because they're all related. And then I'll go into a little detailed analysis. Yunjanneva sadatmanam Yunjanneva sadatmanam Yogi vigata kalmashaha yogi vigata kalmashaha. Whole line. Yunjanneva sadatmanam yogi vigata kalmashaha. Next line. Sukhena brahma samsparsham. Sukhena brahma samsparsham atyantam sukhamashnute. Atyantam sukhamashnute. Whole verse. Yunjanneva sadatmanam yogi vigata kalmashaha sukhena brahma samsparsham atyantam sukhamashnute. Evam, in this manner, yunjan, okay, when you are able to focus, yunjan means attach yourself. When you are able to, in this manner, attach the mind, okay, in that atma here means mind, atmanam, okay, when you are able to attach the mind, free from strong binding desires that get to control you, what happens? You get atyantam sukham. And the sukham comes out of what? There are two types of sukham. One is vishaya sukham. Okay. The other is sukham not attached to vishaya, atma sukham. And when you do this Ashtanga yoga, when you are able to do the steps as stated there, yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dhyanam, dharanam, samadhi. There is savikalpa samadhi, there is nirvikalpa samadhi. In savikalpa samadhi, you have to by will focus on Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, or on silence. Whereas when you are in nirvikalpa samadhi, you are spontaneously in that. So when you are able to focus on this, there is a certain sukha born out of Brahma samsparsham. There is a certain sukham, an atyanta sukham born out of samsparsham. Careful is what the teacher says in his side notes. He says, remember, this sukha that you get out of being in dhyanam is also an experiential sukham. Vishaya Anubhava. From Vishaya Anubhava, you have something called Atma Anubhava. You are experiencing a certain silence. That also is an experiential sukha. So when he mentions that, the teacher adds a side note. Please understand, this is not moksha. Why is it not moksha? Because the experience sukham has come, it will stay for some time, it will go away. When it goes away, you will feel a drop. Like withdrawal of dopamine, something will happen. There will be a certain withdrawal. So how to focus? So this is where the teacher's notes come in helpful. Otherwise, very easy to say, you will get Atyanta Sukham. Let's read the next one. But for a serious student, you have to understand this also is experiential happiness. Better than other experiential happiness, but still an experiential happiness. So, what is to be done at this point of time? At this point, you have to do a further thought. I am aware of this experiential atyanta sukham. I am aware of this atyanta experiential sukham. I am the awareful being whose very nature, whose very swarupa is sukham. And in that quiet mind, free from distraction, this Sukha Swarupa is shining. Careful, huh? The experiential Ananda is called Pratibimba Ananda. My Swarupa is called Bimba Ananda. The experiential happiness is known in a quiet mind. The Ananda Swarupa is self-evident, Swata Siddha. That is sadhana siddha. I've done a sadhana and I've got happiness. The thought process, otherwise the Nididhyasanam is not going to help you. If you want Nididhyasanam to help you, if you want moksha, you will have to, yes, I am aware that I am having atyanta sukham. This is also experiential, and because it is experiential, it is finite. I am an awareful being whose Sukha Swarupam is revealed in this quiet mind. This is called owning up. That is moksha. That's very important. Let's take one more example. You can never see your face, without a reflecting medium. You can never see your face. So now I bring a mirror in front of you. Do you admire the mirror or you admire your face? An ornate mirror. You want the ornate mirror or you want to see your face? So, अच्छा दिखता हो ना? So the ornate mirror reveals your face. The reflected face is pratibimba. Okay? The reflected face is pratibimba. And if you are going to say, yaar, acha dikhta hai, yaar, I had a good haircut today, nice, nice, I look good. And when the mirror goes away, you're going to miss that face. But I don't need a mirror to know that I have a face, and which is okay, acceptable to me. This bimba, pratibimba. So in that quiet mind, this Ananda Swarupa is revealed. That is got to be a thought process. Not say, maja, maja, I got it, I got it. The Ananda thought process is revealed. That's how my understanding is. Clear? Let's go further. See, remember, let's remember certain things very well. No? We have to reinforce it, otherwise it will not work. What is the purpose of Nididhyasana? We should be very clear. What is the purpose of Vedantic meditation? Nididhyasana, another name is Vedantic meditation. Okay? It is a certain discipline, sadhana. Who is it prescribed for? It is prescribed for those who have gone through Shravana Manana. What is Shravana? Consistent, regular, systematic study of the scriptures under the guidance of a competent acharya for a length of time. You should have done a proper study. If you go into the Vedas, it will say what are the studies. You should have studied the Bhagavad Gita, you should have studied some Upanishads, you should have studied some Prakaranas. You should have enough material for doing charcha. Manasa Vyapara. It should be done consistently, regularly, systematically, not sporadically, systematically for a length of time. under the guidance of a competent acharya who knows how to operate the teaching, how to employ the words, how to employ the teaching and fine tune it for you. What one person may understand may be different from what you understand. So it has to be done. Shravana is done, Manana is done. You do it repeatedly. You know what for? You should be intellectually first convinced about what you are studying. Everybody is saying so that I also, no, it should be your conviction. It should become your conviction. The length of study should continue till it becomes your conviction. Okay? When there is conviction, there are the nididhyasana starts, and there are three important aspects of nididhyasana. Never forget it. Three important aspects of nididhyasana. First step, there should be an alert life, mindful life, monitoring your day-to-day behavior. Alert, mindful life, monitoring day-to-day, moment-to-moment behavior. In chapter 2, we would have studied about Sthita Pragya. Who is a Sthita Pragya? A wise one, the wise person. And one of the traits was told was Dukkhesh anudvigna manaha Sukheshu vigataspruhaha Vitaraga bhaya krodhaha Stitadhi muniruchyate. So he is a muni, he is a stitadhi, one of a steady mind from whom one who doesn't get swept away by challenges and sorrow and pain and disappointment, and one who is not exhilaratedly up there by sukha. Sukheshu, dukkeshu, anudvigna manaha is not shaken. FIR quotient is very high. What is FIR? Frequency of disturbance, intensity of disturbance, recovery time from disturbance. That quotient, FIR quotient is very high. So, how does it happen? Moment to moment monitoring. How does it happen? The wise man, which we should try and do. Now, wise man will do. I will watch him do. Maza nahi aayega. It is like watching somebody else play cricket and give a comment on how he should have kept wickets better, how he should have batted better. They are all experts. In the last week of February, everybody is an economist. How finance minister should present budget. On the day of the cricket match, all of them are super top cricketers. How Rahul should play, how that fellow should play, how that fellow should have fielded, how he made a mistake in choosing to bat when we should have chosen to bowl. No problem. Experts. That won't do. We don't want armchair fellows. Teacher says, Anatma. What is Anatma? Your role is Anatma. Please understand, I am Atma. Anatma doesn't mean that does not exist. Anatma means what which is not Atma, which is finite, which is perishable, which is changing. That is Anatma. What is Atma? Right, the opposite. So the Aham, awareful being, Atma, is aware of the various roles I am playing. These roles are Anatma. Anatma has pain. Okay, that is the inner chatter. Don't go to the doctor and say, sir, doctor, Anatma has pain. He will put you in some other ward. You can say, little heart mein dard hai. Even see, when you speak in Hindi, Tamil, there is no problem. Heart mein dard hai. There is a pain in my hand. You have objectified it. But then comes the next portion. I am suffering from pain. This is the problem. So, the wise man will say, Anatma is going, you are not dismissing pain. Please understand it very carefully. We are not dismissing pain. We are not dismissing unpleasant experiences. We are not dismissing sorrow, we are not dismissing jealousy, we are not dismissing anger, disappointment. All of them are valid, but they belong to the role, not to me. This is your this is your inner thought process. This should happen during nididhyasana, especially when you are being, they say, going from mall to mall, being mauled. That's when you should work. You have just saved enough to buy, the price has gone up. I am an unfortunate. That's where you are saying, it's okay, never mind if I don't have. What's a big deal? Nothing runs your life. Nothing bites into you. Nothing sinks its teeth into you. And the bigger the challenge, let's understand this. The bigger the challenge, the stronger is my Viveka Vairagya. Mind the ठीक है. What happens to a bigger challenge? In ill health, financial troubles, relationship problems, loss, humiliation, non recognition, not getting expectations met. In each of these situations, you will try to match your behavior and bring it closer to Sthita Pragya. Dukkheshu anvidvignamanaha, Sukheshu vigataspraha, Vita raga bhaya krodaha, from on whom raga, strong desires, fear and krodha, whose life is not dictated by this emotion, that per being I am. This is Nididhyasana. This is how Nidhyasana works. Not sitting and saying Sivananda Rupam Shivoham Shivoham, Chidananda Rupam Shivoham Shivoham. Hey, where is my coffee? Chidananda Rupam Shivoham. Not Nidhyasana. A lot of people do it this way. I finished. I chanted Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham 1,000 times. And my wife didn't bring me coffee even after that. Hey, what is the point in doing all this? Okay, remember this. Then, this is Vigata Kalmashaha. We talked about Kalmashaha. These distractions have to be removed like that. Then the second stage. Regular dwelling on the teaching of the Shastra. Received through Shravana Manana. Okay? Remember, Mananam, very important aspect of Mananam. We explained something. If Mananam is done properly, you will not say, I have a doubt here. The doubt word will not be there. You will use another word. This thread doesn't fit into my pattern of thinking. Look at the word itself, so beautiful. This doesn't set, it is not resolved properly. I would like it to be resolved properly. That means you don't doubt the teaching, you don't doubt your understanding either, taught and understood properly. But when it comes to relating to it, there are some, they say in Tamil there is a beautiful word, Pishiru. Pishiru means, those, in that thread, gant, that knot, gant. It is something like that. There is a small irritant there which I need to iron out. Mananam is supposed to do this. And the dwelling on the Shastra is done by, in various forms, by reading. Whatever, as soon as we finish today, go for chapad, one method. Afterwards, I'm sure many of the seniors find it very difficult to sleep. And what do you do when you find it difficult? Some people listen to music. Some people have a very lovely thing, worry. Worry yourself to sleep. It doesn't work like that. He says, there was a poet called Rahim. He said, Chinta Okay, is worse than Chitta. Chitta is funeral pyre. Chinta is worse than Chitta. He says Chitta burns nirjivako. It burns only the dead. Chinta jivako. Even as you are alive, it burns you. So this is how it happens. During these times, bring the teaching. If nothing works, aham brahmasmi. संस्कृत समझ में नहीं आता है. I am an awareful being. I am aware of all these emotions. I am aware of an emotion called worry. You have distanced the worry. It will not touch you thereafter. Rather than say, you worry, you say, no, I am aware of an emotion called worry. Localize the worry to the role. Who's worried? Citizen of India is worried because somebody spoke something in Cambridge. You are never worried about all this. You are never worried about Muhammad Ghori invasion. What will you be worried about? This fellow talking. You are not worried about Somnath temple burnt. You didn't worry about all that. What worry you will have about this? You are worried about the father. The father is worried about one of the child. So localize it. The father has a worry regarding his son. Fine. Validate that emotion. Don't say worry should not be there. Father having a worry is natural. Allowing the worry to come to you is a problem. That is samsara. So recall the teaching by reading, by writing, hearing again and again and again and again and again. Discussing with equals, satsanga. Don't discuss with all and sundry. Don't pick up, don't say, there are so many people in Tamil Nadu who are atheists. I want to talk to them. They will take away what little interest you have in Vedanta. Discuss with equals. There's a saying, there was an argument between a fox and a tiger. The fox said grass is blue. The tiger said no, it's green. The fox continued to say it is blue. Tiger said no, it's green. They said let's go to the king and get that dispute resolved. And the king lion said, the fox is right. I sentence you to prison. So finally, one chance of appeal. The tiger said, can I appeal? He said, as a king, I am not disputing your decision. But I know it is green. Why did you sentence me? He said, I am sentencing you because you argued with a fox, knowing fully well he is wrong. That's why I sentenced you. You are a scholar, a pandita, and you want to sit with the guy sitting outside your door and abusing your gods. You want to argue with him. And fellow with a long beard, you want to argue with him that Rama is holy. You deserve to be punished. So discussing with equals. Teaching those who have not learned and who are willing to learn. Don't come and say, I will come and teach you this. People who are willing to learn, teach them. And writing notes on Vedanta Shastra. This is second. And the third is Samadhi Abhyasa, which we are studying now, where it is focused recollection aimed at effortless absorption. So by focused attention, I have to choose a place, I have to choose a particular portion, I have to choose a time, I have to choose an appropriate posture and recall. Ahamasmi sada bhami kadachinnahamapriyah brahmaivahamatas Satchidananda Lakshanam. Ahamasmi, I exist. forever. In fact, time exists in me. I exist. I existed as a child. Even before I was born, my existence was there. Only the body was born. As a child, as a youth, as old man, and middle age, during sleep, during dream, during positions, during lack of positions, doing role playing, doing not playing roles. I exist all the time. Aham asmi. I illumine sada bhami. Everything is in my awareness. Kada chinnaham apriyaha. I am never ever, what is the word? Apriyaha. The word is, I am always pleased with myself, the content. You may not pleased with some role, but basically I like myself. Kadachinnaham apriyaha. Brahmaivahadam. Brahmaivaha. Aham Brahma eva. Iti siddham. It's my conviction. And I am of the nature of Brahmaivaham atasiddham Sachidananda Lakshanam. This is my nature. We'll see it in more details in due course. This is Abhyasa Rupa Nididhyasanam, recollection in a proper atmosphere, designed atmosphere, secluded place, proper place, okay, without much disturbance, so that it creates a certain impact in my thinking. And I constantly recall the Mahavakya. Remember, Nididhyasanam itself is alert living. It is not just sitting Shivananda Rupa Shiva. I repeatedly tell this. Itself is alert living. One should be very, very careful and mindful. Else you relax to samsara bhava. सुखेशु अनुदुख सुखेशु विगत स्पृह सुखे oh my god हम इतना सफर करते हैं you follow, you come back to this bhava. Okay, response to every situation, physical, verbal, mental, should be carefully monitored. The response should be such that I do not nourish my ahankara, mamakara. I don't empower and nourish the roles. I don't empower and nourish false hopes, false beliefs, expectations. Constant, constant. It is not 15-minute closing of eyes. Okay? We will see it in more detail in future. I want to cover up to 30. Never mind, but I'll read the next one. Verse number 29, we'll read. Sarvabhutastamaatmanam. Sarvabhutastamaatmanam. Sarvabhutani chatmani. Sarvabhutani chatmani. Sarvabhutastamaatmanam. Sarvabhutani chatmani. ईक्षते योगयुक्तात्मा ईक्षते योगयुक्तात्मा सर्वत्र समदर्शनः सर्वत्र समदर्शनः all verse सर्वभूतस्तमात्मानं सर्वभूतानि चात्मनि ईक्षते योगयुक्तात्मा सर्वत्र समदर्शनः. So, it is samadarshana. So, one yoga yukta, one whose atma balam, one whose knowledge is steady, is clear. Okay, all the time he is able to have, okay, samadarshana. Samadarshana here means balance. Samadarshana means everything same. Not like that. He is supposed to have a certain samadarshana, a certain objectivity, a certain valuable space inside. Okay, and his relationship with objects, positions, possessions, relationships, people, whole body, mind, everything is as there is a certain balance in all that. Sarva Bhutani Atmani Ikshate. He is able to step back and have a vision of the whole. Okay? And verse number 30, we will see in our next session. We will explore this in detail in our next session. Okay? Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahisha Gobrahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyah Prithvi Sasya Shalinim Deshoyam Shobharahitah Brahmana Santu Nirbhaya Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhavet Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya मृत्योर्मा अमृतंगमय ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम शांति 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 श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय स्वामी दयानंद महाराज की जय हो पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय हो सब संतों की जय हो बजरंग बली की जय हो जय हो you want certain areas covered or you want certain extra things stated, you would always send me a mail or send me a WhatsApp message so that I'll cover that. You people who know my WhatsApp number can send it there, or you can send me a mail rbi.mohan@gmail.com. You could say I would like, rather than say I have a doubt, I would like this resolved. We will help it. Have a wonderful week. We will meet again next week. Oh, may Krishna be with you.